Do you have any idea missing?
No.
Only life. And the Post? Restaurant reviews. Do you like hard-shell crabs?
Yeah?
Okay, you can stare at the picture. Ooh, antiques for sale. Huh? Did you hear that? Someone just bought them. Employment. Bet these guys on Sundays.
You know, cancel that latte.
The Sunday Washington Post. They feel more like
Not a satisfied customer.
Let the party begin.
Oh, what a hit. Inside fastball, struck him out.
There's no panic.
It is long gone. Oh, man. Oh, man. How do you like that?
Smoking.
That was incredible. What a catch. Doesn't get any better than this.
Membership has its privileges.
Looking for more entertainment choices? Comcast Digital Cable gives you 12 channels of HBO for the price of one. HBO, HBO Plus, HBO Family, HBO Signature, HBO Zone, and HBO Comedy. Distinct channels with unique entertainment choices, including big hit movies, original movies and series, championship boxing, and a whole lot more. So why wait? Getting Comcast Digital Cable is easy. Call 823-3000 and order today.
And here's my adorable granddaughter again. Oh, and here's my precious eating birthday cake.
Now, I want you to see my precious darling.
Pizzazz. $10 off any haircut. New clients only with coupon. Mr. Wash Car Wash. $4 off Super Car Wash. World Cleaners. Same price. Only $1.95 per item.
And my baby saves me money. Can yours do that?
No.
I didn't think so.
Sometimes, the only thing more disturbing than the crime is the truth.
You're a murderer, you're gonna get burned at the stake.
John Travolta.
This is my investigation.
Madeline Stowe.
God!
The best murder mystery in years comes to pay-per-view.
She violated the code, she cheated, she lied, what? Worse. What's worse than that? When you find that out, then you'll know everything, won't you?
The General's Daughter. Rated R.
It's one of those proverbial four-point matchups today on HDS. Carolina and Washington, both of them Southeast Division mates. And after one, Carolina leads by one. On HDS today, Joe Beninati alongside Craig Laughlin. Craig, for Washington, when this team plays well, it establishes its forecheck early. I don't think you think they did that in the first.
They absolutely did not, Joe. They didn't get the puck deep. They didn't start the cycle. Against this defense, when you have Malik, Halko, Pratt out there, you're making it easy on them if you don't establish the cycle. Give credit to Carolina, however. When they did try to set it up, they finished and pinned and did not let the Capitals cycle the puck. That's why the Caps didn't get too many scoring chances.
And for so many years, 19 years to be specific, Ron Francis, when given the opportunity to capitalize around the net, he does, and he did for Carolina in the first.
Just a wonderful set of hands. Here's Carolina down low. Hard slap shot off the net, and there's the deflection by Ron Francis, giving them the 1-0 lead.
Coffey and O'Neill with the assist at 7:43.
Great opportunities for the Caps inside. Jim McKenzie's going to try a wraparound. To me, I think he had Herbe beat. Looks to pass it out of this. The Caps had a power play that went for naught. But another great chance was Adam Oates. Here's the giveaway by the goal scorer, Francis. Oates comes in, looks off that backhander, goes wide. Not a shot on net. We take a look at the shots on goal. Very few, just 15 combined. Scoring chances 6. Face-off, Caps doubling up Carolina. Power plays, the Caps 0 for 2. You must establish the power play if you're going to win on the road.
The scoreboard reads in favor of Carolina. After one, the Hurricanes in front of their home faithful. A 1-0 advantage. More of the first intermission today for you on HDS follows these words.
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 3,000 miles because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car. You want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State. It's been tested. It works. What more do you need to know?
They were pioneers, discovering new worlds. Now the pioneers are once again discovering a new world. A world of websites, of high-speed internet connections, and incredible access to information. That's what Verio is all about. We are the pioneers of the internet, discovering new, faster ways to communicate, helping businesses around the world conquer the new world. Verio, the new world of business.
I'm free to do what I want anytime.
Subway says they're bigger than a fast food burger. Big deal. Compared to Blimpie, Subway is a big loser. In fact, a Blimpie sub is a lot bigger than Subway. Bigger portions of freshly sliced meats and cheeses topped off the Blimpie way. Blimpie. Big size, big taste, big value. Get a Blimpie Best Value Meal as low as $3.99. That's a regular Blimpie Best medium soda and chips as low as $3.99.
Honey, I've been thinking. You're right.
Yeah?
We should get a brand new Mitsubishi HD TV at the big screen store. We wouldn't have to pay anything down, no interest, no monthly payments till 2001. You're so good with numbers.
Well.
Let's do it.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Nuts.
At the grand opening of our Towson and Sterling stores.
State Farm can save you up to 30% off their already affordable car insurance rates. In Northern Virginia, these agents are awaiting your call to see if you qualify for the auto discount program. Call today and find out why State Farm is the world's leading car insurer.
This is HTS. Ready to play.
Ron Francis has the only goal today as the Carolina Hurricanes look to inch closer and closer to the 500 mark, leading the Washington Capitals 1-0 after 1 on HTS. Joe Beninati and Craig Lachlan with you. And Craig, our Icelandair flashback goes back to a former home for Carolina and a former Washington Cap making good.
Yeah, back in January 16 of 99, 2-2 in overtime. Nick Eash and Kelly Miller, 9 seconds in top shelf. Caps win 3-2. Killer Miller, the game-winning goal.
That night in Greensboro, today in Raleigh. The Icelandair flashback looking back at a Washington Capitals OT win. 1-0, Carolina has the advantage. So many tight games between these two teams. Another one continues for you in just a few moments.
Punch, punch, knee, jab, kick, punch, 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 in.
Subway has 7 fresh value meals with just 8 grams of fat or less, while a Big Mac Extra Value meal has 58. Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
Chew.
Mr. Gecko. This is my final plea. I am a gecko, not to be confused with Geico, which could save you hundreds on car insurance. So stop calling me.
Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. At Geico Auto Insurance, we handle your claim quickly, so you don't have to bum a ride to work. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hiya, Joan. Looks like snow.
Really?
People think the snowiest U.S. city is in Alaska. Like many people think Mercedes-Benz are not ideal for winter driving. But the C230 compressor with standard traction control is great for all types of weather. In Chicago, Denver, Boston, or Rochester, the actual snowiest large city in the U.S.
Experience Dodge Intrepid with its smooth lines, smooth transmission, and even smoother ride. And suddenly, you're on a different wavelength. Get 0.9% financing for 60 months or a $1,000 cash allowance on Dodge Intrepid.
The Washington Capitals have sustained just 3 losses in their last 20 games overall, but after one today, they find themselves on the wrong side of the scoreboard, trailing the Carolina Hurricanes 1-0 through 20 minutes. Fans, be sure to get in on all the action when the Caps take on the Buffalo Sabres Sunday, March the 5th. All fans in attendance will be receiving a Peter Bondra poster courtesy of Midway Slots. Call 202-432-SEAT for great seats. Washington Capitals hockey, it's always intense. Intensity for Ron Francis as he inches closer to his 15th career 20-goal season. The only goal-getter today, a 1-0 advantage for Carolina when play resumes in period 2 next.
For your next real estate settlement or refinance, choose Classic Settlements, ranked #1 settlement company in the Washington metro area. Always a celebration. There is a difference. Experience the Classic difference.
We've just made it easier to separate yourself from the crowd with a new Dodge Ram. Overall, America's most powerful line of pickups. Now on select 2000 models, get exceptionally low financing. Or choose this generous cash allowance. In a perfect world, everything would be different. Until then, see the friendly Dodge dealer near you during our President's Week event.
Coffee, please. I'm giving my wife a break.
What do you got planned? Not fast enough. You got to think like them. You're 2 feet tall. What do? You find something in the post. You're looking for the fair, the zoo, a hayride. Look, you're a rookie, but pretty soon you'll be planning your own family getaways.
I can do this.
Prove it to the world.
The Sunday Washington Post. Help Sunday feel more like Sunday.
Next week, we'll talk about shopping.
Wizards basketball on HTX. This March, 10 games. The Wizards, 10 games in March on HTS.
Oh, what a hit. There's no reason to panic. Look at this. Inside fastball struck him out beautiful.
Membership has its privileges.
Capitals hockey, always intense. And Wednesday night at 7, the Caps get intense on HTS. Now the race for the playoffs heats up, so every game is a must-win against age-old rivals, against key division opponents. This is pressure-packed hockey. This is intensity. The Capitals face off against division rival Florida, Wednesday night at 7, only on HTS.
HTS coverage of Washington Capitals hockey today being brought to you by Iceland Air. With daily services from BWI Airport to over 20 European cities, Iceland Air, discover our world. And by Subway. Subway, the way a sandwich should be. Caps fans in the house here in Carolina, in Raleigh this afternoon for an encounter with the Southeast Division dwelling Carolina Hurricanes. 1-0, Ron Francis on the board with his 18th. That's all she wrote so far. Richard Zenek's been skating well again today. Seems like he always does. Trying to be productive in the goal-scoring department as he battled back behind the cage by Pratt. Boulis, Zednik, and Dahlin across the top. Dahlin measured by Hill. Ulf Dahlin trying to loosen himself from the checking of Hill.
And that's what I was talking about, Joe. Pinning and freezing and not letting the Capitals keep their legs moving. Once they move their legs, they can start the pinwheel cycle. That was a great job by Pratt down low along with Hill, preventing the Caps' best cycling line from getting established here in the second.
Kovalenko strides to center and sends in Ole Kolzig with words of instruction for Calle Johansson. Johansson matched with Jelena, and Murphy will pitch it clear. Ole Kolzig back in the cage once again, making his 52nd appearance of the season in this Washington Capitals game number 59. Brendan Witt to the glass. Murphy did not exit the zone. First try. Johansson trying to do so on the second effort. Didn't get it out. Jelena closing. Jelena firing, and a good pad save as Kolzig had the angle. Francis, rotation for Halco. Coffey crashes it back behind the Washington net. Francis dueling there with Johansson. Ron Francis sets up Jeff O'Neill. O'Neill, the second leading scorer on this squad, rolls it right through the goal mouth. Coffey behind the cage. Francis's redirect answered by Witt, skated from harm by Adam Oates. On one long skip, it will arrive at Urbe's doorstep as a capture in the middle of a line change. Completing one, Coffey zips back to center. Headman feed, intercepted by Konowalchuk. Konowalchuk along with Terry Yake and Peter Bondra right now for the moment. Yake swivels loose. Konowalchuk was wrapped up by Tommy Westlund.
Ton of traffic in the neutral zone for the Washington Capitals to try to figure out how to get through there. They've got to utilize more indirection. Try to get their wingers utilizing their speed, Joe. Right now, the D for Carolina standing up. Third man extremely high. Makes it tough sledding for the Caps this afternoon.
2.5 minutes into the second period. We've not had a shot on goal either way. It remains 1-0 for Carolina. Konowalchuk in a tussle there with Halco. Yake swarmed by Westlund, and Battaglia will bounce it back into the Washington end as head coach Paul Maurice thinks about changing up and getting fresh troops on for his Canes. Bondra onside at center. Peter Bondra dipping, diving, wraparound wrist shot. Nikolitin spoiled by Irbe. Marek Malik holding on to Bondra, a one-handed pass to the front. It did not arrive at Nikolitin's tape. It does on McKenzie's stick. Nikolitin now pivots free. Bondra as they continue the cycle. Marek Malik using his long wingspan to hold back Washington's top gunner, or one of them rather. Still quite an effort out of that corner, and Bondra has finally dumped down to his stomach. Karpa able to pop it back to center. 1-0 Hurricanes as we approach the 4-minute mark of period number 2.
Well, this is the type of game I figured it would be, Joe. A lot of work in the trenches, a lot of grinding it out. The key is keep your legs moving. Carolina really not giving the Capitals a whole lot of opportunities in their own zone right now. It's going to be up to the Capitals to get that forecheck established, get them running around a little bit. If they can do that, then they're going to get chances against Irbe. Right now, chances are few and far between. They've got to get an onslaught going here against Arthur Irbe.
The shifty Ranheim racing after Ole Kolzig. Kolzig playing it away from his crease to the side dasher. Brindamore drops it back off. Ranheim lunges it. Hill steps in and fires. Kolzig makes the good stop and a better cover as Daniels was dangerous on the doorstep.
Well, Joey, we've got to take a look at our poll question this afternoon. Log on at www.washingtoncaps.com. Who was the Caps' most colorful personality? Craig Laughlin, Craig Laughlin, Craig Laughlin, Craig Laughlin. Pick any of those. Bailey, Hunter, Iafrate, Ivan LeBray, and Locker. I bought 2 polls, Joe. You got to love that.
Somebody give me a telephone. I need to call Mike Vogel.
I got to come close to winning something this year.
I need to call Mr. Vogel and have him remove item E.
Oh, here's that hard shot. Good save by Kolzig. An even better one, gobbling up that rebound. Good opportunity by Daniels had he got there a second earlier.
Even strength, 5 aside the two-team skate. Washington failed in its first 2 power plays back in the first period as Jan Bulis roars in, whiffs on a slapper as he was defended by Nolan Pratt. This is Bulis, Zednik, and Dahlin trying to get Washington on the board. Irbe shovels it to the corner. Brendan Witt, well-timed, jumping down from his point position. Brendan Witt and Ulf Dahlin back behind the net without his hockey stick. Zednik protecting it from Pratt's check. Pratt sweeps it to the dasher. Brindamore is turned back. Such a scrap for every inch of ice today as Witt drills one wide. Johansson keeps it at a point position. Dahlin has his stick back in his hands now. Bulis to the front. Zednik lurking, and Irbe makes the pad save and no rebound.
And he gets a good opportunity, but good takeout at the end of that play by Hill. Finishes his check, but Irbe, good chance as he snuffs the Capitals' opportunity. This has been the best line this afternoon for Ron Wilson's Caps. They've worked the puck extremely well behind the net. You can see the pinning, and the key to that is Dahlin's got to now get away. Pratt's holding on. There's the pass. He gets one shot, but look at Hill, Joe. Finishing off Richard Zednik. You can give him one whack. But as a defenseman, Hill's right on top of his game, cleaning out the Caps sniper, the Z-Man.
Sean Hill, very active, very animated when he's in the lineup, and that's the key. When he's in the lineup, it has been somewhat of an injury-plagued career for Hill in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's had a big-time abdominal strain this year, Joe, but the thing about Hill, he wants to play as best as he can because he becomes an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season.
Has a very hard shot. He's a focal point in Carolina's power play. Right off this draw, speaking of hard shooters, Gonchar singed one over the head of Irbe off the glass and out of play, and the official Dan Maruelli is saying that that was deflected, and as a result the faceoff will stay in Carolina's end.
Time now to take a look at our Toyota League leaderboards. We're talking about helpers and who's been dishing them out. Gretzky, Paul Coffey, Raymond Bourque, Mark Messier, and look at Ron Francis. 5th all-time, doling out over 1,000 assists. It's going to be tough to catch the great one, Wayne Gretzky. He had 1,963 assists in his NHL career.
Ron Francis, a 3-time 100-point performer. And with the helpers in the last decade, supreme company there, Gretzky, Oates, and Francis, the top table setters in the 90s.
That was a line. Who'd shoot?
Here's a chance for Murphy to shoot a backhand through the goal mouth. Freaky towards the net, pad save Irbe. Huge rebound is swatted to the corner. Now Coffey's turn. Looking to outlet. Gonchar made the stick stop, and as he maneuvered at the line, he does so offsides against Washington.
There's a look at Sergei Gonchar, plus 16, tied with Joe Ricci for the Caps lead. And around the NHL, obviously, with 15 goals right up there, tied with Rob Blake, the hard-shooting LA King. Sandis Ozolic, Lidstrom tied at 14 apiece. Eric Desjardins having a Norris Trophy year also in Philadelphia. Certainly these 5 guys, along with Pronger as the 6th guy, have to all be considered for the Norris Trophy, which goes to the best defenseman in the National Hockey League.
As well as St. Louis is playing, the kind of defensive totals they're putting up, I think you'd have to say, and Pronger's enormous ice time totals, that he's the front runner in that category for Norris.
Yeah, I think if Gonchar had been a little more consistent the first 20 games, Joe, he'd be right up there with Pronger.
Sergei strides back to make this touch-up. Carolina is going to be whistled for icing as we have completed 6 minutes of period 2. Carolina still has a 1-0 advantage. Fans, if you're viewing HTS today in the Washington-Baltimore region, call Beltway Heating for preseason prices on energy-efficient Carrier indoor weather makers with Huron, the refrigerant of the future. Call 301-585-6660.
The backup goalie for Irbe this afternoon is Mark Fitzpatrick, Joe. You know, they had a guy, Fischel, he was picked up on waivers, but now Mark Fitzpatrick is their backup. He came through into the season. He outplayed Fischel actually in training camp, but then was sent to the minors to Cincinnati. He was solid in Cincinnati, and he said one of the key reasons he actually returned to the NHL, he was thinking of retiring, was his friend Billy Smith, who had him as a coach in Florida. He convinced him to go to the minors, play some good hockey. He did. Because of that, now he's his backup here in Carolina. Fischel off to Montreal on the waiver wire.
And the guy who was very much less heralded in that Primo Brindamore deal, another component to that trade coming from Philadelphia, Jean-Marc Pelletier. As Konowalchuk tests the blocking glove of Irbe, Pelletier now playing with Cincinnati in the IHL, and a very young, promising netminder on the horizon.
Yeah, just 22 years of age. Obviously, he's got to replace Irbe. Fitzpatrick's not going to be a number 1 in his years to come. It's going to be Pelletier, the guy that you mentioned, Joe, and that's why that Primo deal, not too bad for this franchise.
Carolina in its own end. Jelena not for long, sending out O'Neill. Marek Malik playing without his left glove. Will dump it back. Ken Klee hits Jelena to the end boards with quite a thump. Terry Yake has room. Skip the outlet pass out of Bondra's grasp, and this is going to be icing against Washington. 7 minutes, 1 second, done in period 2. Nolan Pratt and the home-standing Canes leading by 1.
It's not too bad working Sunday, huh?
Do you have any idea what we're missing?
No.
Only life. Have you seen the Post? Restaurant reviews. Do you like hard-shell crabs?
Yeah.
Okay, you can stare at the picture. Ooh, antiques for sale. Huh? Did you hear that? Someone just bought them. Employment? Bet these guys don't work on Sundays.
You know, cancel that latte.
The Sunday Washington Post. Help Sunday feel more like Sunday.
Not a satisfied customer.
They say if you build it, they will come. So we worked hard, paid attention to detail, always keeping our customers in mind, and created the most modern, state-of-the-art facility in the area. Great service, no hassle pricing, new and used cars. We build it, so we hope you will come. Jim Coleman Honda, Route 32 at Route 108, Clarksville, Columbia, Maryland. Buying a Honda will never be the same again.
State Farm can save you up to 30% off their already affordable car insurance rates. In Northern Virginia, these agents are awaiting your call to see if you qualify for the auto discount program. Call today and find out why State Farm is the world's leading car insurer.
Bob Bell Nissan has the lowest prices in Baltimore. And to prove it, bring me any advertised price. If I can't beat the price, I'll give you the car and truck free. That's right, free. I'm Bob Bell, and I guarantee it.
Bob Bell Nissan, Eastern Avenue, across from East Point Mall.
At a cost of nearly $160 million, this is the Carolina Hurricanes' new home, the Raleigh Entertainment and Sports Arena. They share this facility with the NCAA North Carolina State Wolfpack.
And for $160 million, wouldn't you expect to have the same color seats to lower level? Well, they messed up. There's some dark red and light red seats. They're going to change them all next year to have one consistent color.
Please, somebody get the fabric coordinator. And let's work on some swatches.
Yeah, they weren't too happy with that, Joe, when that turned out like that.
Craig Laughlin, fashion police.
Well, I'm colorblind, too. Can you believe it?
That might be the reason why you see the different colors. Back down the wing, it is Cron. Hits the brakes. Ducks away from Zednik. Quick relay to the goal now from Kovalenko goes unanswered all the way back to Urbe. Even in full strength, 5 aside. 1-0 Carolina the lead on HDS today in the second period. Joe Beninati and Craig Laughlin with you. Bill Bell, our producer-director, piloting a fine crew in Raleigh. We tip our cap to them. Ulf Dahlen spills it back out to center, where Sean Hill will play. To the gloved hand of Brendan Witt. Off of Boulis' tape, Jan Boulis late in his line shift. He'll retreat to the players' bench for a breather. Pratt off for Hill. Hill didn't get it as far as Adam Oates' glove. And we get the whistle and another hand pass, methinks, against Washington as Hill is entangled with Simon.
It's only a headlock, Joe. That's not tangled, is it? A headlock by Sion Hill? There's Big Cy. Trying to get something established here this afternoon. This break here, Joe, let's take a look at our Dodge trivia question for the afternoon. Who holds the Caps record for the most penalty minutes in a single season?
I think I know.
You think you know?
I don't think it's Chris Simon.
I don't
but I think I know.
You have to think of that.
We'll see if our HDS viewers have the answers as this game proceeds today. Chris Simon's numbers across the board. First ever 20-goal season for Chris. Got 34 total points. That ties his single-year high that he established with the Quebec/Colorado franchise. And with a top line of late, Simon, Oates, and Bondra, they have been clicking effectively and productively.
And you talk about that line, Simon, Oates, and Bondra, Joe. Check out these numbers in their last 3 games. 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points among that trio there. So Wilson, obviously a genius, reuniting them, delivering offensively for the Caps.
Ron Wilson, super genius. Simon, nice pass cross rink, a backhand flick collected by Oates. Mironov continuing the rush, ran right into Coffey. Oates to the slot, nobody there. Save for Jeff O'Neill. 3-on-3, back from the Canes. On the wing, it is Jelena. Well off the shooting angle. To the point position, Coffey steps in and drives. That one fluttered on its way, was batted out of there by Ole Kolzig. Kolzig and Urbe, the net-minding matchup. Washington and Carolina, a Southeast Division duel. 1-0 for the Hurricanes as we reach the 9-minute mark of period 2. Ron Francis has the only goal from Paul Coffey and Jeff O'Neill back before the first period was halfway through. Sacco on the forechecking pressure. Joe Sacco sidesteps Coffey. Oates, ditto to Westland. Oates to the point position. Clean thought about a blast. Just layers it back behind the Carolina cage. Washington's captain has it. Oates to the point. Klee's drive was muffled by Westland. Mironov taps it down low. Sacco had to come on through, and now Washington will be forced to hit the rewind button. At center, Jim McKenzie. McKenzie, who had a goal against the Caps in the last meeting. Shane Willis with that good speed down the flank, right into a waiting Ken Klee. Washington looks to go in transition, counter-punching it is Sacco, rolling it weakly to the net. Herbe shoveled it back to a point position. Klee bats it wide. Mironov will cheat down from his point spot. Dave Karpa right there to wait. The 8th-year pro. Off for Westland, and Westland will softly place it back in Washington's territory. Battaglia, who's been silent today, runs Johansson heavily into the end boards. Carolina playing without one of its top guns in Sammy Kapanen, who's bothered with a shoulder injury. As Johansson scampers into the attack zone, he was stick-checked well. Back comes Brindamore with Kovalenko. Johansson answers the stick check with one of his own. Konowalchuk's grip. Stick save Herbe. Rebound to the glass. Fielded by Robert Cron. Cron scooting at center. Johansson first back on it for Washington. Pounds it around the curve. It'll come the length, and this should be icing against the guys in blue. 1-0 Carolina. Arturs Herbe has handled all 13 shots he's faced today, flanking the Caps so far.
One is truly wise, who has traveled far and knows the ways of the world.
Fly with the people who discovered America. Icelandair, the cool airline crossing the Atlantic.
Hiya, Joan. Looks like snow.
Really?
People think the snowiest U.S. city is in Alaska. Like many people think Mercedes-Benz are not ideal for winter driving. But the C230 compressor with standard traction control is great for all types of weather. In Chicago, Denver, Boston, or Rochester, the actual snowiest large city in the U.S.
Honey, I've been thinking. You're right.
Yeah?
We should get a brand new Mitsubishi HD TV at the big screen store. We wouldn't have to pay anything down, no interest, no monthly payments till 2001. You're so good with numbers.
Well.
Let's do it.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Nuts.
At the grand opening of our Towson and Sterling stores.
Hey, kid, nice lid. I think, Locker, you'd look wonderful in something like that.
That wouldn't look too bad like that, Joe, eh? Can't believe he's holding you there.
A life-size replica. Cute and cuddly. Johansson.
That's my partner.
Yake didn't get it out. Wrist shot easy. Stop for Kolzig to arm aside. That bid from Nolan Pratt. It is 1-0 in Raleigh today for the homestanding Hurricanes. Bondra lines up a slapper off of Hill's shin pads. Huge rebound off some lively boards. Collected by Willis, and back come the Canes. Only as far as Steve Konowalchuk at center. Sean Hill will dump it to the cross corner, where Calle Johansson will get there ahead of Willis, who has skated well upon his return to the NHL ranks. Konowalchuk rolls it weakly for Hill to drive back out to center. Willis picks it up on the run. Leaves it to Jelena. Jelena's wrist shot spoiled by Sergei Gonchar, and that will wind up in the end zone seats for the whistle. It will give us a chance to tell you about Timebridge Technologies, which specializes in the design, implementation, and support of business-critical networks and applications. One source, a world of solutions. Call Timebridge Technologies at 1-888-402-1300.
So look at Paul Maurice there, the head coach, youngest coach in Major Pro Sports. Big-time teacher of the game of hockey, and well, he should be. His wife's a high school history teacher. Both his parents also teachers.
And if I'm not mistaken, he has coached more games for this franchise than anyone in its history.
Yeah, he just recently coached his 375th game, which passed Jack Tex Evans, who was behind the bench. The lowest tenured guy was 13 games. John Connick, way back in 83, that's how long he lasted.
Right in, right out. Thanks for coming. A cross-checking penalty has been spotted here by referee Brian Murphy right in front of the Washington net.
I think it's going to be Joe Ricci heading off for the Caps. Little scrum ensued on the face-off circle. Ricci's going to get nailed. Power play, I think, upcoming here for Carolina. Here it is in our Cellular One. You make the call. Here it is off the face-off, Joe. Joe Ricci there. Watch him come into the fray. Right here as the forward's coming through, and there's a cross-check to the back. On our Cellular One, you make the call. Ricci sits for a deuce.
Joe Ricci getting the cross-checking minor. You see the time listed at 11:39. This should be Carolina's first power play of the night. Washington's penalty killing has been terrific. Over the course of this 82-game season, they're ranked third. Carolina's power play is 13th overall and 15.9% effective under this roof.
And the power play, that's been one area of improvement this season for Paul Maurice. They have 41 power play goals, and that's the whole total they had all of last season, Joe. So that area has improved for this Kings team.
Caps did a nice job of slowing down the Flyer power play, #1 rated on Saturday. Now they have to keep Carolina off the board to keep this just a 1-0 deficit. Right to the front immediately. Francis looking for O'Neill, and Kolzig dragged a pad. Out comes Steve Konowalchuk, potential 2-on-1 with Adam Oates. Konowalchuk closing, firing right to the belly of Irbe. Back in transition, here comes Francis. Johansson scampers back into position. O'Neill's relay to the front, gobbled up by Witt. Brindamore and Witt collide in the corner. Jeff O'Neill sifting out from the referee's tracks. Coffey, one-timer for Hill that was blocked. O'Neill returns it to Hill. 5 of his 8 goals this season, Sean Hill, have come on the power play. Brindamore steps right on in. Thought about a wrist shot. Coffey plays it for Brindamore. Slapper on the one-timer. Francis was hoping for another deflection. It came right on through. Francis is parked behind the net. This is Brindamore working the half board. Brindamore surveyed by Konowalchuk. Witt lines up Francis. Coffey is attacked there on a point drive that was stopped. Kolzig had traffic in front. Brindamore waiting. Francis defended well by Witt as he takes care of 2 Carolina attackers. Power play time, another 40 seconds for the Canes. Huge attack zone territory time here. Closing, Brindamore trying to stuff a tip. Kolzig saves the day. Along the dasher board, it is Coffey dropping it back behind the goal. O'Neill lost his balance, and Johansson and Oates will be able to clear, thankfully.
Apple's going to knock down a few more people in front of the net. Once they penetrate, Joe, you got to get your lumber on them. Knock them down. You can't let them wander out in front of the net. That's close to the crease, like Brindamore did in their last power play here.
All Coffey hitting Kron, deep slot. His drive was spilled wide. Shelina charged there by Klee. Covering it is Andre Nikolitin. Nikolitin clears. Ricci's out of the penalty bench. Sacco rifles one right on. And Arturs Irbe makes the catch in the cover.
Good opportunities on this power play for the Carolina Hurricanes, Joe. Some pretty good puck movement. And obviously, when you have talented guys out there like Brindamore and Francis, you're going to create chances. Here's the one spot where you got to knock them down. Calle Johansson sort of in no man's land, trying to take away the back door of O'Neill. But that allowed Brindamore to sift in there and get an opportunity. Brindamore has been a lot better of late after going 8 games here scoreless. Take a look at the power play improvement this season. 41 PPGs. Last season through 82 games, just 1 more.
Carolina this year against the Caps in the season series. 1 for 13 coming into play today. Dahlin crashed back behind the goal by Karpa. 5 aside, the 2 teams skate. Washington looking to get into a draw with the Hurricanes. Ron Francis has the game's only goal back in period 1. Gula splitting the gap on defenders, got tugged down. And now the Caps will have a manpower advantage.
It's going to be a tripping call doled out to Dave Karpa. Great speed by Jan Bulis. A little bit shaken up there in front. We've got to step aside. Caps hockey this afternoon. Stay with us. Power play upcoming.
Subway says they're bigger than a fast food burger. Big deal. Compared to Blimpie, Subway is a big loser. In fact, a Blimpie sub is a lot bigger than Subway. Bigger portions of freshly sliced meats and cheeses topped off the Blimpie way. Blimpie. Big size, big taste, big value. Get a Blimpie Best Value meal as low as $3.99. That's a regular Blimpie Best medium soda and chips as low as $3.99.
We've made it easier to separate yourself from the crowd with a new Dodge Durango, boasting best-in-class power and room. Right now, you can lease this extremely popular Durango SLT 4x4 for only $365 a month. In a perfect world, everything would be different. Until then, see the friendly Dodge dealer near you during our President's Week event.
I'm free to do what I want any old time.
Saturday at noon, ACC College Basketball plays huge on HTS. Virginia takes on Florida State in the HTS ACC Men's Finale. Saturday at noon, only on HTS.
On our Cellular One, you make the call. Dave Karpa upends. Jan Bulis. Watch his right knee hit the ice hard there. Went off gingerly to the bench, Joe. Hopefully he's going to be all right. He fell on the right side of his right knee. Very little padding on the right side of that kneecap.
5-on-4 goes Washington. Mironov and Gonchar in back. Oates, along with Simon and Yake across the top. Bulis has missed time this year with the groin injury, rib injury. Yake to the deep slot for Mironov. Oates to Yake once again. Interchanging with Oates. Yake will close to the front, blocked off by a sprawling Hill, and it's deflected back to center.
A right idea by Terry Yake, trying to work a little give and go, but great play by Hill. Throwing down his body, did not allow a passing lane there because he utilized falling down, Joe. He had his full body there, but didn't allow the Caps to get an opportunity.
Urbe almost gave Gonchar a gift as that slapper was deflected well wide. Under a minute to go in this Caps power play. It's their third manpower advantage on the day. They trail by 1 with 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the second.
It seems like it's an adventure every time Urbe comes out to handle the puck. He might as well just stay in there, Joe. Giving it away a couple of times here this afternoon.
That's one of my favorite expressions of yours. Just tie him to the net. Mironov with a blast, and that was just deflected inches wide. Simon to the corner for Yake. Yake watched carefully by Pratt. Simon trying to feed Oates, who was hiding behind the cage. That pass doesn't arrive, and the Canes will clear it. Dmitry Mironov will wait for Bulis to swing out. Good sign for Washington. Bulis none the worse for wear after taking that tumble. Bulis and Malik in the corner. Bondra lurking. Johansson venturing way up from a point position. Bondra has a step to the front. Zednik was alone, but the pass was blocked by Malik. Zednik, Klee on the perimeter. Johansson, power play expiring, deflected wide. As Karpa exits the penalty bench, Carolina's back to even strength, leading by 1. Just a shade less than 4 minutes to go in the second period. Joe Beninati and Craig Laughlin with you. This President's Day matinee from Raleigh. Bondra in, ruled onside. Bondra fires, and a glove save Urbe.
That looked offside to me up here, Joe, and that's why the fans were oohing and aahing. Looked like Zednik was offside by about 6 inches, and that's why Francis is having a word with the linesman. He, too, the veteran, thought he saw an offside play there. Here in our Cellular One, you make the call. Check out this, Joe. Is it onside or offside? There's Booley up in front, the bonsai, and there's Zednik, to me, at least 6 inches over, but it's not called, and bonsai out of that play gets a wicked slap shot that Urbe makes the save on.
On ice officials today, Dan Maruelli and Brian Murphy are the referees. Gord Brosker and Pat Capuzzo working the lines. Peter Bondra trying to add to his goal totals, and he's been effective against Carolina. Carolina in seasons past. Bondra has 20 goals in 32 career games against Hartford/Carolina. A stalemate off the draw in the attack zone for Washington. Konowalchuk mugged there by Karpa. Away come the Canes. Coffey leads the rush. Karpa from center. Long rebound. Pinballs off of Kolzig's pads and goal stick. And Konowalchuk will just softly play it back to the Carolina line. Jelena, who was a teammate of Caps winger Joe Murphy. Those two were united on the kid line with Adam Graves in 1990 in Edmonton. Stanley Cup winning squad. Willis's wrist shot handled by Kolzig. And Kolzig will put the clamps on this as Brendan Witt buries Willis in front. And then says, who's going to come after me next?
Big difference between the IHL and the NHL, and Witter dishing out a nice check on Willis, just called up.
Fans here in Raleigh none too pleased. They'd like to see Brendan Witt get the gate. The referees will think otherwise. Washington trying to continue its solid play on the road where they've gone unbeaten in 9 of their last 13, trailing by 1 today.
Shane Willis is showing some good speed here this afternoon. Little white skates there, I like that. You look a lot faster, I guess, wearing white, Joe. There it is. Big hit by Brendan Witt on Shane Willis. Willis leads Cincinnati with 27 goals. He's a sniper that's just 22 years of age.
Brendan Witt, who turned 25 yesterday. Happy birthday to Brendan, and happy birthday in advance to Joe Riki, who will turn 35 tomorrow. Yake, weathered there by Coffey. Kovalenko and Oates were shoulder to shoulder for a moment, and Kovalenko able to pitch that one free and play it right on cage to Ole Kolzig. 1-0 Carolina. Ron Francis has the game's only goal. Gonchar trickles it through Halko, and covering for his blue line mate will be Coffey. To Robert Cron. Kicks it along for Brindamore. Brindamore, who played portions of 9 seasons in Philadelphia, still looks odd to see him in something other than orange and black. Simon awaiting Francis's forecheck. Delicate touch for Oates. Hill throttled Terry Yake at center. That will allow Pratt to turn. And offsides on the 2-line pass is Ron Francis. 1-0 late second period. Caps fans, when Washington's back home, there's only one place to go before and after games. That's The Rock, located right across the street from MCI Center. They feature 4 levels of big screen TVs, pool tables, and micro beers. We'll be seeing you when the Caps are back home at The Rock. And speaking of which, a home date Wednesday with Florida, much anticipated in the Southeast Division battles. Get your tickets now for that 7 o'clock start. We'll have coverage at 6:30, beginning on HTS on Wednesday. Jan Bulis to take this face off. Francis beat him cleanly. Carolina able to clear back to neutral ice, where Klee will swing. Less than 2 minutes to go in period 2. Francis from Coffey and O'Neill, and that's it today. Ron Francis on target. Martin Jelena reeled in by Ken Klee and finished off by Ken Klee. Klee's patented move with that right forearm and glove where he shrugs the winger down. Bondra tapped it past Hill. Washington looking to go on a counter punch at the late penalty is coming against Carolina. Zednik to the deep slot. Bulis is one-timer wide rebound. Richard Zednik chopped that through the goal mouth. And as Jelena makes the touch-up, Washington gets power play number 4.
Now's the time, Joe. They got to connect here. They got to get some rubber towards Arthurs Urbe. Wilson looking on, penalty upcoming, so the power play goes to work. This is a big momentum shift, especially late in the period. Here's a look down low. Good opportunity. There's a big-time hook there by Francis against Bulis. And good work down low. Here's the Capitals entering the zone. And look at Zed move laterally, just like he did against the Philadelphia Flyers, Joe. And there's the haul down there at the end of that play in the penalty box. Sean Hill, 2 minutes for holding.
You know, hockey is sometimes a game of geometry. How in the world does Zednik, from that close to the net, how does he create the angle to shoot it through the goal mouth and out the other side?
I don't know.
Amazing. Washington will look for the tie here. wearing the blue sweaters this afternoon, second best in the Southeast Division, 10 points up on third place Carolina. This is one of those 4-point swing games. Washington's power play, just a single shot in 3 tries already today. As the linesman, DePuzzo, mends a fractured piece of the ice right at the dot there. Zednik awaiting his next turn. Washington controls the draw. Sergei Gonchar through a screen. Irbe had that one hit him. He never, ever saw it.
And that's a great shot. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Unfortunately for the Caps, there are 3 men that were parked in front. That rebound came out so quick, they couldn't get the second whack at it. Keep the shots coming from the point.
40 seconds to go in the second period. Oates is tying up there with a couple of defenders, and who's going to get the gate here?
It's going to be the Caps heading off a holding minor, I think, Joe. And because of that, it's going to be 4-on-4. Holding of the twig. Adam Oates caught there right to the right of Arthur's Urbank. Wilson Company will now have to play 4-on-4, a lot more open ice. On our cellular one, you make the call. Here's Oatsy coming down against Karpa, and then he holds up Pratt's stick. There it is in his right hand, and then Karpa gets thrown down too. On our cellular one, you make the call. Oatsy sits for a pair.
Adam Oates on the season, just his 6th minor penalty, 12 total penalty minutes.
There goes the Lady Bing. You get over 10 and you're in trouble.
Adam Oates has been a Lady Bing finalist in the past, an award that is recognizing the gentlemanly play and sportsmanship of players in the NHL. It's an award that Ron Francis has won twice. Looking at Oates in the all-time assists category, just a half dozen away from Mario Lemieux.
Wow, great company there. Lemieux, Howard, Chuck, Trottier, and Larry Murphy still putting up big numbers playing in Detroit. Obviously one of the anchors on the blue line there, along with Nick Lidstrom.
So the Caps' leading point getter this season, Adam Oates, is in the penalty bench, and we'll go 4-on-4 for the remaining 35.4 ticks of the second period. Paul Coffey's squad protecting a 1-0 advantage over Steve Konowalchuk and the Caps. Today and tonight in the NHL, 1 of 9 is this battle between Washington and Carolina. Brendan Witt will turn back into the defensive end. O'Neill there to work against Johansson. Francis with 22 seconds left will test Colsey, going to kick out stop. Johansson leaving it to Joe Murphy. Murphy with plenty of open ice in the 4-on-4 fray. Witt to Johansson. Murphy strides right on by O'Neill. Looking diagonally for Witt off of his boot. Gathered by Coffey as the siren will sound. Konowalchuk came a-running and gave him a shot, and Coffey didn't appreciate it one bit. The linesmen, Brassiker and DePuzzo get in there to keep the peace. We are done with 2 periods today, and the Carolina Hurricanes are the team wearing the smiles on their faces. After 40 minutes, Carolina has a goal from Ron Francis. His 18th of the season came back in the opening frame at 7:43. Paul Coffey and Jeff O'Neill had the assists on that one. Francis has staked Carolina to a 1-0 advantage after 2. Fans, NovaCare Rehabilitation is a national leader in physical therapy services. Why don't you let NovaCare's team of professionals put you back in your game after surgery, or perhaps an injury at home, work, auto, or play? For a center near you, write this phone number down at 1-800-770-NOVA. Washington looking for its 13th road victory. Carolina trying to win game number 26 on the year and be 1 under the 500 mark, as this is game 3 of a 4-game homestand for the Canes, who close it up with the Florida Panthers in here on Thursday. It's actually the first of a home-and-home set between the Canes and the Cats. After 2, we start our second intermission today with Craig Laughlin.
Thanks, Joe B. Joining me downstairs, future Hall of Famer Ron Francis. Thanks for stopping by. About the game so far, Ron, is this must-win now for Carolina the rest of the way for you guys?
Well, we're in a very tough situation, and, certainly every game we play now down the stretch is very important for our hockey club. So, I don't know if it's must-win. I don't think the team that sprints out of here is going to necessarily make the playoffs, but certainly the team that's the best over the last 20 or so games is got the best chance of making the playoffs, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Now, we've loved following your accomplishments, and I guess back against Philadelphia, you moved past Gordie Howe. Is that one of the bright points in your career?
Well, I think anytime you hear your name passing a guy like Gordie Howe, it's it's something to be extremely proud of. I know I broke into the Whale organization a long time ago, and Gordie used to hang around the locker room, come out with skate with us sometimes in practice, and just an absolute idol of mine and a great player, so certainly it's nice to be along his company.
Now, what are we expecting in the third period from you guys, Ron? And for the Caps, it should be a real tough third period.
Well, we have to sort of continue to do the same things we're doing, get the puck in deep, forecheck extremely hard, and try and play tight defensively. We can't give them too many opportunities because they're a very good hockey club.
We really appreciate the time here on HTS, Ron. Continued best success.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, Ron Francis joining us after 2. Their team up 1-0 over the Caps. We'll take a look at the highlights when we return here on HTS. Stick to your TV. Third period coming up after the intermission.